And as indicated, we are trying to bring you 360-degree view on the proceedings in Mthatha. We also have our reporter Lerato Fekisi, who's also in Mthatha for the provincial day of mourning. Lerato, from your perspective, please tell us what's happening.
Well, a very good morning to you, Sakina. We are outside the King Sabata Dalendyebo TVET College, where, like my colleague Crisalda said, the day of mourning will be remembered by the provincial government. But Sakina, I think when you come into Mthatha to arrive last night, and you cannot but sense the sense of sadness, anxiety, pain that the people of Mthatha are still going through as they try to make sense, really, of what happened last week. Many families, like Crisalda said, are still trying to find their loved ones, and I think today is going to be a trigger for the school kids who lost their fellow learners in that bus that subsided and the pupils then died. It's going to be a trigger for the families who will today remember exactly their loved ones who they lost last week, and also a trigger for the families who are still looking for their loved ones. Yesterday, Crisalda got to speak to a lady who speaks about how she lost her husband, how she's still looking for her husband and her 3 kids who still have not been found yet. So today is going to be really painful when the pictures of their loved ones go up on screen and they realize that there are no more, and also try to piece together the pieces. And we spoke to community members yesterday, which what has been a really tough time for them. A lot of them still housed in community halls. A lot of them also, Sakina, with a lot of questions as to speak to beyond the day of mourning. What is life going to look like? We did hear from the Minister of Human Settlement, Thembisi Malani, speaking about 2 lands that have been identified to build structures or homes for the people that have been displaced due to the floods. But we're speaking about over 4,600 people who now need to be found homes and build good homes, sustainable homes. And she said the plan of the government now is to allow families to first grieve, to allow families to bury their loved ones, and then from there to try help the families pick up the pieces by identifying land where they'll be built temporary structures or homes. But for many of the families, they still have lots of questions as to, beyond just the day of mourning, what's really going to happen. We have heard in some instances, Sakina, where people went to B&Bs where they were told to be housed, then they were taken out of those B&Bs, and many are asking, when the cameras go down, when the media houses pull out of Mthatha, what's going to happen to them? Will the houses really be built? Is the supply of goods from organizations like the Gift of the Giver still going to come? Are people still going to take care of those that will be left with nothing because many of their homes have been destroyed? So today is going to be a mixed bag of emotions: sadness, anxiety, pain, but also I think worry to say that beyond this day, what is really going to happen to the ones that are still looking for the loved ones? How long are the operations, search operations, still going to continue, and will more bodies be found, and will families really find closure in making sure that they find their loved ones? But Sakina, today really is about the people who will come here, and many of them are still housed in community halls throughout Mthatha. And I'll link right now to my other colleague Fundiswa, who is at a community hall, to speak to those who have been housed there and will make their way here at the TVET College later for the day of mourning. Over to you, Fundiswa.
Thank you very much, Lerato. We are at Joslovo Township, just not far from Dekolini, where the entire incident happened. We were there when this whole incident unfolded. We saw some of the learners from Jumba Senior Secondary School being swept away by the strong currents. It's just a little over a week since the incident happened. The incident that took the lives of over 90 people. They are housed here at Joslovo Informal Settlement. But we have Mthatha Ulibala, who will be telling us more about their plans for today. Mthatha, are you going to the memorial service today at Cicigha?
Ndiyakhona eCicigha, siyakhona namhlanje eCicigha kumonakalo owathe wenzeka apha. KuLwesibini ebusuku kuye kwanetha apha, kwanemvula engumahluko engathi kugqojozwe ipipe yabe ifufa, endibonakala futhi into ba inkulu into yenzeka ngoba bekududuma kusenzeka yonke into. Kwagcwala amanzi ke ngoku apha, kwalimala abantu, kwemka izindlu, kwabhubha abantu.
Dada, apha ngaphakathi mhlambe injani nje imeko yokuhlala, ngoba siyeva ukuba wena uyi-community leader apha, umane ujonga abantu ukuba baphila kanjani na apha ngaphakathi kule cawa?
Hayi, apha ekuphileni kwabona baphila kakuhle, hlobo loba ukutya kuyeza, ingubo ziyeza, yonke into bayakwazi ukuyifumana.
Ni ready ke ngoku ukuya phaa kula memorial service?
sirate ngoba kukhona izinto ezawufika sithatha abantu abaya kule memorial service.
Okay ke tata, ngokarhulumente tata bekade kukho into ethi kukhona abantu abangafumani amanzi, yonke into amanzi niyawafumana, ukutya nakufumana ngexesha elifanelekileyo. Apha ngaphakathi abanye bathi mhlawumbi iingubo abalala ngazo mhlawumbi bayagodola, abanye oomatrasi mhlawumbi baqinile abalali kakuhle.
Bafika kuqala omatrasi abaqinileyo kodwa kumane kufika aba abarayithi ke ngoku. Hayi kulaleka kakuhle nokutya kona kuyafika ngexesha elifanelekileyo. Ukutya kukhalwa ngako kona apha.
Kuke kwakhona nengxelo zoba benikhe nafakwa, abanye bafakwa basiwa e-B&B but kwathiwa phaa xa befika ebusuku kwathiwa akubhatalwanga. Ingaba mhlawumbi iye yalungiswa njani loo nto?
Hayi apha kuthi abekho apha kuthi abake bahamba baya e-B&B ngaba bangapha kwesesitishi singapha ebambanani abaye bahamba baxa befika apha baphinde babuyele emva kwathiwa akubhatalwanga.
Thank you very much. That's Utata Ukhatebe, Utata Ulibala, saying that everything is fine here. They are sleeping and staying here peacefully. And he's saying that they are ready to go to the memorial service. And indeed, it happened that last week when other people were being moved from a school to a B&B, they were told that it's not been paid. So they were turned back and had to go to a community hall where they slept on the floor, on the concrete floor. Back to you, Sakina.
Well, thank you so much, Fundiswa Mhlekude. So those are 3 reporters bringing you live coverage of the Day of Mourning and Remembrance in the Eastern Cape.